Hello beautiful, welcome back to Nat's Beautiful Life. Today I'm going to be doing another haul video because I have no self-control and I like to buy books apparently a lot. So I have all of them with me except for one. But if you are new to this channel, hi, my name is Natasha. Welcome. I do videos on mostly books, but also beauty and bullet journaling. I have two dogs in the room, so you may hear some noise. And I'm filming at night for a change, and there are people here, which I don't normally like to film when people are here, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm also in my pajamas, and I do not care. But I just thought we would just have a nice relaxing video where we talk about books and things like that. One of the books that I do not have with me because it's in the other room with a sick person is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I have already finished that book and my husband is actually reading it now, and mind blown. I love a dystopian anyway. It's one of my favorite genres and I enjoyed that so much. And we did watch one episode of A Handmaid's Tale, the show, and together, Ryan and I, and I had already read most of the book by that time, and he said like the next day he could not get it out of his head, like the stuff that I was telling him about the book and then also the show. So what we decided to do is I finished it, now he's reading it, and then I guess we'll try to watch a little bit more of the show. But anyway, really good book and I highly recommend it. It's one of the books they got me for our anniversary. So long story short, our anniversary was May 23rd. On May 22nd, I was tested for COVID, so we were having to not only self-isolate, but keep away from each other, and so now he's sick. But in between there, we were able to go to a nice fancy restaurant that had itself so separated that it was like being in your own little room at your table. And he got me some books, and he got me one of those spinny makeup brush cleaners, you know, like it has a bowl and you hit the little button, and I'll see if I can find it, put a picture up here. But he got one of those and it works like a charm. But he got me two books in that, and so that was the first one. So let me get into some of these books that I've got here. Okay, so one that I got in May was The Ballot of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I know a lot of people have mixed feelings or don't like this. I really loved it. I think it was a great villain story, and also I think it's very political. I do love Lucy Gray Baird. She's like the best character ever. But I think if you don't understand or you don't pick up on those political things and the things that Snow is learning about how to control people in a political type of way, it's disturbing, then maybe you don't like it as much. But I really enjoyed it, and yeah. So what else do I have here? I'm just grabbing like a little stack at a time. Alright, so got this one, The Girl He Used to Know by Tracy Garvis Graves. I thought this would be a great just everyday kind of easy breezy read. I like to do palette cleanses every time I have like a series of really heavy books to read. Then I like to have something to read that isn't quite so heavy, and I think this will be a good one. And it has to do with an English major who works in a library and or something like that, and that's all you have to say to me to make me like perk my little ears up. I saw this book, The Dollhouse by Fiona Davis. Don't know why I picked this up, don't know what engaged me, but I mean it's a pretty cover. But I've really been into historical fiction lately, like who am I? But 1952 secretarial school, and then there's a murder mystery or something, so I'm looking forward to having one of those. Oh, I saw this book and I thought it was really cool. You will see before all the controversy with Book Outlet and Book of the Month I had ordered these books. So just know that some of these will be Book Outlet and some will be Book of the Month, but then there's other stuff here as well, like Amazon and my local bookseller. So I saw this one, The Eyre List by Mark Mayer. This is a book about circus performers. I think it's short stories that are about circus performers and different things like that. And it has to do with like P.T. Barnum's Caravan and all of that. So the people who made that up. So I love anything that has to do with circus, and I'm really getting into short stories lately. I'm going to dim this light down because I feel like it's very bright. BRB. I don't know if that's better or not. Maybe I looked better all washed out. I don't know. It's late at night. The Gilded Hour by Sarah Donati is the next one I have. I finished reading The Last Castle by Denise Kiernan recently, and it is a nonfiction about the Vanderbilts and the Biltmore estate and all of that. So I was really into that gilded thing. Also, I read A Well-Behaved Woman by Teresa Ann Fowler this year, and so I was really wanting more of that Gilded Age kind of thing. And so this one is 1883 in New York City, and there are two graduates of women's medical school, and just kind of their, a dangerous man considers him the enemy of everything indecent and anyone who dares to defy him. Well, this looks good. And also, I have a kind of a challenge for myself every year, like the amount of books I want to read and the kinds of books within that amount, which I've already, not only have I met the amount of books that I'm supposed to read for the year already, I raised it and then met that already as well. So yeah. Then anyway, yeah, so this is like a 700 something page book, so this will help me reach my goal of reading, I think I wanted to read like at least 4 books that were over 600, and trust me, there's quite a few on my TBR that are over 600, but that one helped. Alright, the next one is Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I wanted the and I thought I ordered the regular cover, not the movie tie-in, but they sent me this one. I was on the fence about actually reading this. I did see the movie and I liked it. I like sci-fi. But Sunbeam's Jess, she read this book and she actually wound up reading the whole trilogy, and she said she really loved it. She did watch the movie first, and she said that's actually kind of the best way to do it. She thinks she enjoyed that better that way because she could actually visualize a couple of things that you can't really figure out. And it is kind of, it's sci-fi, but it's also supposed to be a little bit of horror. And so I'm looking forward to this. It is a short book, but apparently there's a lot that happens in it, and she really enjoyed it, and I love her taste. I will link her channel down below if I remember. If I don't, remind me, okay? Next one is this one. This is Midnight in Chernobyl by Adam Higginbotham. This is the other one that Ryan got for me for our anniversary, and what I really love, I love this type of stuff, just learning about things, history, stuff like that. But what I also like about this is not just about the disaster and the aftermath, but it appears to show a little bit about life in Chernobyl before everything happened. So looking forward to that. We have another historical fiction, which is In Another Time by Caroline Leach. I saw some reviews that said people really enjoyed it. They thought they would like it better if it was adult, but it's YA, and so it's not going to be as involved, but I think again it'll be a good palate cleanse, easy read for me. Let's see what else we got back here. The Vanishing Half by Ingrid Bennett. I'm looking forward to reading this book so much. I have seen so many people talk about it. I'm currently reading my book club book because my book club is Saturday, and if I wasn't, I'd be reading this. So I think this is going to be my next book. So it takes place in the 1950s, I believe. Twins, African American, but they're very light skinned, and one stays in her hometown, excuse me, in her hometown, and lives her life as an African American, and grows up, I guess gets married, has children, while the other one actually leaves town, passes for white, marries a white man, has a daughter, and I think that they wind up reconnecting through their daughters. So I can't wait for that. Let me see what else I got back here. I dropped a bunch. All right. I have another historical fiction here that I'm actually really looking forward to, and I love when a book has a PS on it like this. It means that there's insights, interviews, and more. Whether or not you actually, I want to read them after I read the book, but I really like that it's there. So Lighthouse Keeper's Daughter. I think it takes place, it's two timelines, so 1838 and 1938. So 1838 England, 1938 Rhode Island. And it looks like there's like some disaster and this lady does something with and saves the whole town. I don't know, but it looks really interesting and I'm excited to get to that. I also bought, why Shannon, why, you know who you are. So every year in December my book club has a Christmas party and it's like our biggest shindig of the year. And at this party for the past 2 years, kind of our tradition has been, instead of like putting pieces of paper into the pot and picking them out, we all just buy a new book that we haven't read, that we want to read, to make as a part, of our, it's like a gift exchange we do, but it's books, and those books are our book club books. So one of the books that got picked was this beast of a book. I'm really shadowing myself. So The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I hear this is awesome. I know it's won a Pulitzer. This version is almost 800 pages. I know the paperback, like the mass market paperback, is over 1,000. We've never had one this big. We've had some big ones, but we never had one this big. So I'm gonna take some guesses. Oh, that should be a game we make. I'm gonna have to mention that Saturday, a game as to who's actually gonna read The Goldfinch. But it looks really interesting. I'm excited to read it. I have not watched the movie or anything like that, so looking forward to it. Then we have Supernova by Marissa Meyer. This is the third and final book in the Renegades trilogy, and I have it on my TBR for June. If I do not get to it in June, then hopefully it'll just swing over to July, because I really enjoyed this series, and with everything that is going on right now. Oh, and I know that a lot of people are doing things at the beginning of their videos, and I actually had filmed this video already, but it didn't work out. I had done that. So with everything that's going on right now, my statement is down below, because I will go off on a tangent. I don't know that I can personally change the world, but I believe that I can do stuff to make my world the place where I stand and everything around me. I want to work to make it a better place. So anyway, what I was saying was, I want to read this book because I have enjoyed this whole superhero thing, and just, it's lighthearted even though it's heavy, and so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm gonna go grab some more books. Okay, so these two, I believe I got this last month from my local bookseller, Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is the cool thing about having a local bookseller. I emailed her because I wanted this and I wanted something else that was like a journal or something that was not on it's not on their website. So I emailed the owner and was like, look, I want this book and I want this journal, and I said, just tell me how much and okay, give you the money, blah blah blah. I went and took a nap because it was like Sunday, I think, and so I took a nap. It was a very good nap, and when I woke up I had an email that had like an invoice and was like, oh, no problem, I'll take care of it, I can drop it off today and here's the invoice. Hadn't even paid for the invoice, so I just was like, okay. So I paid the invoice right then. I went right outside to let the dogs out, and this book and that journal were on my front doorstep. Like, I hadn't even paid for it, but they knew me, so they just left it on my doorstep, which I thought was awesome. But anyway, I got this one, A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I will probably finish this tonight. Almost done. This is the book club book of the month for this month. So this is June. It's a fun little book. If you're waiting for one big thing to happen, so far I'm not finding that that's the case. It truly is about the things along the way to the planet they're on their way to. But yeah, and I find there's a lot of interesting things in there. I got the third book as well. The second book wasn't available where I was purchasing this, so I just went ahead and picked up the third one because Ryan already read this, and he read it before me, and he read it fast, so that means he's probably going to want to finish the series as well. So I want to go ahead and pick this one up, and then we'll either have to do the library's open. We can't go shop, but we can request books and they'll tell us when to go pick them up. So maybe we'll get the second book there, or maybe he'll pick it up. I don't know, but we got those. Okay, so now let's hit up the classics real quick. Truman Capote, Breakfast at Tiffany's. I have not seen the movie, but I did not care for Holly Golightly very much in the book. She wasn't a very good person. There was 3 other short stories in here, and I think A Christmas Memory is one of the ones in here that I really like that, but I wasn't a big fan of the others. Henry James, Turn of the Screw by, Henry James. Once again, I read The Last Castle, and so I made a list of all the Biltmore authors. So all the authors that stayed in the Biltmore or stayed near Asheville or had anything to do with it, or were good friends of the Vanderbilts. Edith Wharton was a lifetime friend of Edith Vanderbilt. And so Henry James is one of those authors. And also our October book of the month is going to be Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, which is based on this. So I want to read this first. And then I got these beautiful editions from the Book Depository in the UK. So I got The Age of Innocence by Edith Wharton. I got To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. I got Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, and this cover is gorgeous. I got The Souls of Black Folk by W.E. Du Bois. And this author is the first African American to ever get a PhD from Harvard University, and this was published in 1903, and really like that. This one, another by Henry James. This is The Bostonians, and this is, strangely enough, deals with the suffragettes and a women's rights and feminism, and then also I feel like she's also like falling in love with someone, so she's trying to decide kind of where all of that falls in her life. And considering this was published, I'm gonna say, let me see, published in 1886, and all of those things that we're still dealing with today. I mean, we can vote, but other than that, we're still fighting for everything else. This one, big surprise, Lady Audley's Secret by Mary Elizabeth Braden. Hadn't heard of this before, but I saw it when I was shopping for classics on Book Depository. I scratched her eye up, but it was so pretty. And I love these, what I also love about editions, they have the cover kind of on the side. This book is insane. Published in the 1860s, I want to say, 1862, I want to say, maybe. I have read this already, phenomenal, very descriptive. There's murder, there's abandonment, there's madness, there's, just think of a non-creepy Mr. Ripley type thing. Oh my word. So good. Oh my word, this video is gonna be so long. Alright, and then Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, which I have read. And then we have one more book. Okay, so that book is this edition of Jane Austen's 7 novels with a bind up of, I know Persuasion and Pride and Prejudice are in here because I read those from here. There's Sense and Sensibility, Mansfield Park, Emma, Northanger Abbey, and Lady Susan. And like I said, I did read Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion from this edition, and even though it's huge, it's beautiful, It's actually a really comfortable font and everything to read. It's heavy, not going to travel with it, but for sitting at home in your chair on your front porch or something, it's not bad to read out of. So that's it. That is a lot of books. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will get through this somehow. All of this has happened before and all of this will probably happen again. So we'll get through this, guys, and I believe that change is coming. I do. I believe that good change is coming. We've just got to get through this, and hopefully the second half of 2020 will show us some progress. Please, Jesus. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again very soon on Nat's Beautiful Life. Have a great day, gorgeous.